As a JSO detective begins what is expected to be a long recovery from 3 gunshot wounds, our city is reminded of the dangers that police face every single day. Jacksonville police officers are really the barrier between people who want to do harm and us. Police are oftentimes our only defense. And we learned yesterday that according to investigators, the 19-year-old who opened fire on that narcotics detective may have possibly wanted to die, in a term that's often referred to in the law enforcement community as something called suicide by cop. Joining us now from the newsroom is News4JAX crime and safety analyst Gil Smith. Gil, good morning to you. So this detective was basically pulling over someone who'd been driving erratically, according to investigators. He didn't know that this 19-year-old, just had a fight with his girlfriend, told her, in fact, that this would be his last day on earth. The reality is, Gil, I mean, who knows what Kevin Rojas could have done yesterday had he not been stopped by that detective?
That's true, Jennifer, because we know that he was armed and he was angry. And if he had not been pulled over, he was going to go somewhere. He might have committed violence somehow. So in my opinion, it really speaks to this officer's character, because being in an unmarked car, they don't always stop and take police action. If you're in a marked car, you don't take action. People will notice that, take down the car number, and complain. Now, some people are maybe criticizing him because he had his young son in the car. But the point is, he is still in the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office police car, and he sees something that's suspicious or that he needs to act on, and he did that. So it turned out to be a very dangerous situation, but it could have been a lot worse had this officer not pulled him over.
And that instinct certainly, no doubt, probably kicked in with him, without a doubt. So let's take a look. This is interesting, too, Gil, because for those of us, obviously, who've never been in law enforcement, you look at the mugshot of this 19-year-old that will pull up, Kevin Rojas. You assume that people who may be a threat to the community, you assume that they're this sort of big, tough-looking person, yet you look at this 19-year-old who, quite frankly, if we have his mugshot, we can pull it up, who, quite frankly, I mean, he looks 12 or 13. I mean, is this a reminder that really anybody can be a threat to any of us?
That's absolutely right. He looks like a very clean-cut kid, and some people, when they first showed the photograph, thought it might have been the son of the police officer because he was so young-looking. I mean, you really can't go by a scruffy beard or anybody's size or demeanor. Anybody can be dangerous. Anyone can be violent. So you don't want to just look at someone and say, well, he wouldn't do this or he wouldn't do that. That's not necessarily true.
I'll tell you also, Gil, and I know that I'm sure that you had the same reaction that I did. I mean, it sort of takes your breath away when you see the windshield of the detective's car. What was your reaction when you saw that, those bullet holes? Now, notice there's the 2 on the driver's side where the detective was sitting, but then look at the other 2. I mean, that is where his teenager was.
Right, and that's the question everyone has right now. What happened to the son? When I came into the newsroom today, people were asking the same question. Where was the son? Was he there in the car? Was he down low? These questions we still have to answer, but I mean, it was obviously, it could have been a very deadly situation if his son had stayed in that position, because they're right there at the passenger seat. So he may have gotten out of the car or he may have ducked down. We're still anxious to find out exactly what the son did during this scenario.
Yeah, and you have to imagine, too, that as soon as his father, this detective saw, Rojas, according to investigators, with his gun and pointing it at him, like, get down, trying to get out, and, of course, calling for help as well, despite the fact that the detective had been shot 3 times. Is this a reminder also, considering what happened before this, according to investigators, that there had been a fight between this 19-year-old and his live-in girlfriend, and that he had fired 2 shots in the house before leaving with a gun to report domestic violence?
And that's right, because we don't know what the history was, if there had been some prior domestic violence before yesterday. But anytime you see signs of domestic violence, people think, well, they're imposing because this is a personal issue. No, these type of things need to be reported. Now, quite often they say that domestic violence are the most dangerous types of calls for police officers. That's true. And they say also traffic stops are very dangerous. This incident was a combination of the 2. You had a domestic violence situation and a traffic stop. Now, he was very angry, very emotional, and quite often people just do things that they would not normally do in a normal situation, because it could be a breakup of a girlfriend, it could be the first time he's ever broken up with someone, and those emotions are very difficult to handle. So you just never know what type of violence a person, especially law enforcement, may face.
You just never know. It's why you've got to report anything suspicious. It's certainly an important message here this morning, considering what we saw yesterday. Gil Smith, our crime and safety analyst, thank you for your perspective this morning. And just a reminder also, as any updates come in about this investigation, we will let you know on air and right here. You can see our website, news4jax.com. Just look for this story also for background on the case on our homepage.